Welcome guys, all the YouTube enjoyers. This is Memorize92 Stay Giga Chat Spam Noted. Alright, for this video, I am gonna go over some other parts of the Spec Summoner that I haven't covered in the latest video about the Spec Summoner. Okay, for Swift Summoner, except for the gear set part, I don't have that much tips that I can give anymore. From the previous video, so you can refer to the Swift Summoner video on the previous one. Yeah. So if I go on the relic set about the Swift Summoner first, briefly, so there's this kind of thing, right? Like, do I use what's it called, charm set, or do I use hallucination? So if I say it briefly, up to around 1490, so which is before you hit Brill, charm is like better or like similar. It's kind of like that, and it really depends on how high your tripods, your gems, like your engravings, or your card set, like all those min-max stuff. It really depends on that. Yeah, if it's higher and higher, then hallucination is better and better. Yeah. Which means if your gear, the gear is also a part of min-max, right? If your gear is higher and higher, then the better the hallucination is than the charm. So most of you guys will be better to stick to charm till around 1490 in, like, you know, average roughly. And after that, yeah, you can try to, like, you can swap to the hallucination. Yeah. Alright, now Spec Summoner. Okay, I have several things that I want to share about the Spec Summoner that's not in the latest guide. Okay, number one is, there are two things. Okay, number one is the skill part. So the build that I'm currently having right now is identical to the build in the VOD. So, like, I have something to talk about Steed Charge, yeah. This skill has a long cooldown. Since the cooldown of this skill is long, you guys might fail to sustain your adrenaline. Makes sense, right? It's not like it's impossible or like bad. It's like you have a chance to, you know, fail to sustain the adrenaline. Yeah, and you guys have to check that out. If it's okay to use this Steed Charge for you, like if it's actually, you know, if the adrenaline is actually not going off, you have to check that. If not, then it's okay to use this. If so, then it will be better to run other skill. Yeah, some other skill. And one of the skill that I would recommend over this Steed Charge is this one. If I translate it, it's called Sudden Explosion. Alright, just like that, guys. Just like that. And if you see the cooldown, it starts from 7, right? It has very short cooldown. The thing is this. Let me show you this. The gauge, the identity gauge, this sudden explosion, it doesn't increases that much meter. It doesn't. Even though it has like a meter, you know, tripod watch. So I don't have any meter right now, and if I use it, nothing happened, right? Nothing happened. If I use it one more, I'm thinking that 1 will increase now. Yeah, exactly. So it's like 0.5 bubble. But the reason why this is used if you cannot sustain adrenaline is because it has short cooldown and you can sustain adrenaline. Like, solely that's the only reason. Makes sense, right? Spam noted. Okay. Okay, so the last part that I want to share is the rotation part. Okay, you use the Z on Akir, and then immediately use the Swamp, and then immediately use the Ancient Spear. Makes sense, right? Because Swamp gives you 5 seconds of attack buff. Not just the Armor Brick Party Synergy. If you see the first tripod, it gives you 5 seconds of a lot of attack buff. The last hit of the Akir is the important part, strongest part, and that part should come into the window before this, you know, buff ends. Makes sense, right? So if I show you, you have to do it like this. And there goes the attack buff. And it ends. After the Akir and Ancient Spear, the strongest skills, after they lands, the attack buff disappears. That's why you have to use it like this. This is the basic combo. Other than that, you can use 2 Akir once per rotation of the Swamp and Ancient Spear. Let me show you. Alright. Alright. So I have nothing here, and you get the gauge by using the Electric Storm, Steed Charge, and Water Spirit, and you will get the meter, use it, and the Swamp, and the Ancient Spear. And then you have to keep on using the identity, skills. Yeah, just like this. Okay, I got the if you get the meter, you use it and use the W. What's this called? The L seed. Yeah. If you see the first tripod, this lady also gives you attack buff for 5 seconds. It's same as the Swamp. Yeah, first tripod. That's why as soon as I landed another, Akir, I immediately clicked W to apply the attack buff on my Akir. And I followed up with this skill. I don't know what this is called in English. Let's say Earthquake. I immediately, use the Earthquake because Earthquake is like third strongest skill in Spec Summoner. Yeah, first one is Akir, second one Ancient Spear, and third one is this one. I believe. Yeah, except for other identity and the awakening. Yeah. So let me go once again. So you use this like this. That's first rotation, and you get the gauge, and you use the Z again, and click the W to get the attack buff. See, attack buff is applied, and you go so on and so forth. It's a repetition after that. That's one cycle. That was one cycle. See, if you use a skill, then you get the Akira again, and you use Swamp and Ancient Spear. And you use the identity skills again, the Electric Storm and Steed Charge, and you use it and use the L seed, the lady. Yeah, that's one rotation. So in one rotation, you can use 2 times of Akir. Okay, if I show you a brief rotation. Use all the things and yep, click it. Just like that. Nice. Okay, that landed it before it ended. Good. And use it again. See, it's perfect, right? The cooldown is perfect. Like, all the stuff are going well. Yeah, as you can see. And use the W, and within the time, it fits in time like that. And if I use the charge, then it's gonna hit the full, and use the Swamp, and use the Ancient Spear, so on and so forth, guys. The one thing is that if your Electric Storm and the Water Spirits identity, increase tripods have low level, it might not be like smooth like mine. Yeah, so if you see here, so Water Spirit have this tripod that increases the identity meter. Yeah, if you read. And Electric Storm, the third tripod, also increases the amount of the identity meter by a lot. So the very important part, what I think, for Spec Summoner, the priority of the tripod is these two. Electric Storm, identity meter gain. This one. Yeah. If you cannot see it. Yeah, this one. And Water Spirit, this one. Third one as well. Makes sense, right? Yeah, so I would recommend you guys to prioritize these two, identity meter related tripods to make flawless rotation like me. Alright, anyways, that's it for the guide. Thank you so much all for watching. Until the next video, stay Giga Chat and spam noted.